Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, students. Now, I am going to start with this chapter 9, corporate level strategy, horizontal integration, vertical integration, and strategic outsourcing. Now, as we proceed towards this chapter, let us understand the chapter concerns corporate level strategy and the focuses of different strategic implementations, that is, the choices that companies makes with regards to horizontal and vertical integration. Now, putting it for the horizontal and vertical integration and examining cooperative relationships, that is, such as strategic outsourcing as an alternative, successful corporate strategy adds value by enabling the company to perform one or more of the value creation functions at a low cost or in a way that allows, a particular company for differentiation and brings a premium price for a company to be more successful in a corporate strategy. Let us understand the learning objectives and thus discuss on how it strengthens a company's business model, and then the level of strategic business level strategies that are taken care for a company in its model, and then horizontal integration, and then you will be seeing all this in the later particular chapter. Now, corporate level strategy and the multi-level business model, which we are more interested in this chapter to talk about, which is predominantly talking about the kind of outsourcing and vertical integrations that has many a factor to describe. But the choice of corporate level strategy is in the final part of the strategy formulation process. That is, a corporate level strategy drives the company's business model over a time and determine which type of business and functional level strategies managers will choose to maximize long-term profitability. Strategic managers, as such, develop a business model and develop strategies that use their company's distinctive competencies to strive for a cost leadership, that is, a position and differentiate its products in the same manner. That is, which allows them to have more specific value. Now, in this area, if you see, as we go and understand more of how higher level multi-business models that justifies its entry into business level industry and then have its impact on its areas. Now, the particular part of horizontal integration is staying with one industry allows a company to focus, on all its managerial, financial, technological functions, resources, and capabilities on competing successfully on one area. A second advantage, I can say, of staying with a single industry in the company sticks to this particular way of focus for a way how it does the best. So here, acquiring, merging with industry competitors to achieve the competitive advantage that arises from a large size and scope of operations. That is how I just explained to you benefits. Then even merger, an agreement between how two companies to pool their resources and operations and join together to better compete in a business industry. Now, moving on, we have advantages and disadvantages of an integration. If you see this, a particular advantages and disadvantages, you can read it. There is nothing I can explain much in this, but you can understand more by reading at it in a particular way. Lowers the cost structures, increases the product differentiation, and then how it conflicts with the Federal Trade Commission, that is FTC, if leverages of a competitive advantage and then increase in prices reduces on the different industry, that is reduces with rivalry in the industry, abuse of market power, increase in bargaining power over suppliers, and crushing the competitors, that is potential competitors. Moving to those important areas of disadvantages, even this particular industry on a particular integration has its own vertical integration. When a company expands its operation either backward or frontwards into an industry, backward integration produces inputs for the company's products. Forward integration uses distributes or sells the company products. And then, as you can see in this particular figure, which demonstrated very clearly over here, the backward integration and the forward integration, which is clearly shown here, which is the raw materials coming in and the components, parts manufacturing, then the final assembly, then to the retailers and the customers. It, in this similar manner, it has a backward vertical integration. As you can see, the particular arrow mark which describes that the same thing would be taken in for a final assembly in a different aspect of the company's overall movement. Now, increasing in the bargaining power and the problem, we can see how the companies facilitate their areas of importance with enhancing the productivity and vertical integration, increasing the cost structure or the disadvantages, or increasing the different areas of its importance. Now, the raw material to cost structure and value added in the PC industry. This is one more example given in this, your textbook. You can understand this and get some idea on the importance of examples, that is in a chemical industry or a Intel and microtechnology, Dell, Havel Packard, and then Max, that is a Compaq USA, and then how the particular derivatives have its own impact on a customer's outcome for a value added in a PC industry. Now, the problems that are with the vertical integration is increasing cost structure, disadvantages that arise when a technology is changing, disadvantages is that arises when a demand is unpredictable, and then vertical disintegration when a company decides to exist in industry with forward or backward in the industry value chain to its core industry to increase profitability. And then with this kind of horizontal and vertical integrations, the problems have its own way of movements of the complete business model. The comparative relationship, which talks about quasi integration, that is a use of long-term relationships or investments into some of the activities normally performed by suppliers or buyers in a place of full ownership of operations that are backward or forward in the supply chain. Competitive bidding and short-term contracts. As you are all aware of how a particular competitive bidding strategy is used for a particular action, that is in a dependent component or a supplier compete to choose a supply out of a particular component, and then short-term contracts is another area which is last for a particular year or less than a year. Then how this changing of marketplace or decides have a different credibility on their areas of importance for a total. There are a lot of cases given here in the textbook. You can check all the cases and understand more on the strategic areas of competitive bidding and short-term contracts and increase in cost structure or demands. And then there are some cases given on strategy in action and Apple, Samsung, Nokia battle in the smartphone industry. And then you have some other long building relationship strategy action in eBay, changing committee to its sellers, then some other important areas also for the competitive advantage in short term. Now, strategic alliances and long-term contracting. The contracting, which has long-term agreements between two or more companies to jointly develop new products or processes, substitute for vertication, that is called a vertical integration, avoids bureaucratic cost, that is to give it a more corrective area of importance. Component suppliers benefit because their business and profitability grows as the company they supply grows, and how they particularly grow with the incredible amount of its importance with the company's overall building long-term relation. These are several strategies company can adopt to promote the success of cooperative relationship and lessen the chance that one company will renege on its agreement and cheat the other company. One strategy is the company that makes specialized investment for a demand or a hostage of a partner, another to establish a credible commitment for that particular company. That is, the result is strengthening the long-term relationship. That is also called as hostage taking. That is essentially a means of guaranteeing that each partner will keep its side of the bargain, the competitive relationship between the other for its importance of the particular relationship in this type of a situation. The companies are usually dependable, that is, each company holds a hostage, the specialized investment the other has made, thus making it more on a convenient means exchange valuable resources to guarantee that each partner at an agreement will keep its side of the bargain. Credible commitments. Now, the credible commitment is a believable promise or pledge to support development of long-term relationship between companies. Each company should possess a kind of power to discipline its partner if the need arises. Now, strategic outsourcing. This is, as we have been seeing, a lot of strategic outsourcing. Vertical integration and strategic alliances are alternatives way of managing the values of how industries strengthen a company's core business model. Strategic outsourcing is the decision to allow industries one or more of its company value chain activities or functions to be performed by independent specialist companies that focus all their skill and knowledge on just one kind of activity. When a company chooses to outsource a value chain activity, it is choosing to focus a fewer number of value creation, that is, activities to strengthen its business model. That is what it is shown here: full integration and taper integration outsourcing for a primary value creation. If you see the in-house supplier, in-house manufacturer and in-house distributors, there are some good amount of case studies given here in your textbook on strategy in action. I think you can just check on those case studies and get a clarity of those strategic outsourcing and value creation focus, that is on new product and workers who make them, and understand it more clearly. Benefits and risks of outsourcing. This is another important part, where strategic outsourcing has several advantages. It can help a company to lower its cost structure, increase product diversification, and focus on distinctive competencies. They are vital for the long term competitive advantage and profitability. Lower cost, enhanced differentiation, focus on core business or risk of outsourcing, and all. You can understand how important this goes for a particular benefits of outsourcing. Now, hold up, increased cost, competitive loss of information, and forfeited like this for a particular learning opportunities. That is lower cost structure, as I explained just to you just now to you. Now, the risks that a company will become too dependent upon the specialist provider for an outsourced activity, increased competition, loss of information, or forfeited learning opportunities. So, these are some of the risks of outsourcing. I think this is a very small chapter 9. You can just go through the particular case studies and understand more on this particular chapter. I am just closing this video. Thank you very much for your time. Stay safe, stay at home. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.